Hi, everyone. Chapter 15 of Book 1 of the Discourses by Epictetus is titled, What Philosophy Professes. And so when I was reading through this, I think the first thing to address is what philosophy professes is really speaking about the idea of ancient philosophy. So Epictetus here is talking about philosophy in the sense of what's the best way to live. Whereas modern philosophy, asks different questions. It concerns itself with things like, what is the nature of being? What is the nature of mind within the system of being? How do we know what we know? So, it's asking different questions than what's the best way for an individual to live in order to have a good life. And this is the question that the ancient schools like Stoicism sought to, address these types of life philosophy type questions. And so this is what this discourse is ultimately about, because this discourse is about a gentleman who comes to Epictetus and he asks Epictetus, my brother's angry with me, and so how can I get my brother to reconcile with me? And, Epictetus, the short answer is, well, you can't, obviously. But Epictetus reminds him, that the only thing that can be done is to stay true to the governing principle. And, I think the governing principle here is just sort of the central rules of Stoicism, central guidance of Stoicism, which is, live your life in excellence and virtue, and with a sense of inner tranquility that is, brought on by, being in balance with nature. And in my opinion, like, nature means the life circumstance that you find yourself in. And when you do that, then you recognize, well, as we've talked about in previous videos, recognizing the importance of being able to recognize things that you can control and things that you can't control. Because there are many things in nature, in your life circumstance, that you cannot control, and so those are outside of the realm of your power to do anything about. And so Epictetus tells this gentleman, well, your brother has his own art of living, so everyone has their own, has to attend to their own art of living, and your brother has his own, and so therefore his anger is outside of your, control. So I think that that's a very important lesson, because I think that behavior of others sometimes, like this man, he doesn't want his brother to be angry with him, and his brother's anger at him and refusal to reconcile with him is actually affecting his emotional state and his inner tranquility. But so it's a hard lesson to learn sometimes, that you just have to let that go, and his brother is going to be angry for as long as his brother is going to be angry, and that you can't control another person's emotions, so you can't control your brother's anger. Epictetus reminds him in this little parable about a fig. So Epictetus reminds him, if you're hungry for a fig, let's say, and you want one, now because you're hungry for it, there may not be a fig available. You might have to wait for the fig tree to blossom and for the fig to grow and then get your fig. Or, you may not get a fig. So you have to be able to understand that you can't have that. Your inner tranquility can't depend on things that is outside of your control, and another person's emotions are outside of your control. Once you've done the steps that you can on your end to live in balance with the governing principles of, meaning living in harmony with a sense of inner tranquility, recognizing things you can and can't control, and if you're living by your own, within your own art of living, and you're living that, and you're exercising that well, then you have to. Part of that is actually letting other people come to their own, their own life their own life decisions, and of course, they control their own emotions. So, I hope that made a little bit of sense. I think this was a very short little discourse, but it's a very important, quick reminder that the emotions of others can affect our sense of inner tranquility and our sense of balance, but ultimately they are largely outside of our control, and that is a huge life lesson to learn, and to learn how to cope with and to deal with. So take care. The next discourse coming up is called On Providence, chapter 16, so stay tuned for that. Take care. Bye.